All right, we're gonna play with a little watermelon medicine real quick. Let's do it. That bolt's stiff as a scone, ain't it? All right, it's a nice gooey mess there. All right, we're gonna be talking about the Ruger American and 450 Bushmaster today. We'll take a closer look at it. We'll go up to the hill and do a little more talking. Really interesting caliber for this gun. We'll get after it here. Let's do it.
Right on, Eric.
All right, we got a special guest with us today. I'm gonna introduce in a few minutes here. All right, I'm gonna go for 2.
Right edge.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go for 3. A little high there, not too bad.
You're centered up well though.
All right. Well guys, today we're gonna be talking about the Ruger American. This particular gun is kind of their ranch model. It's got a 16-inch barrel. It's in 450 Bushmaster, which is a really cool cartridge. And the best way to look at this particular caliber, really, it's kind of like almost a miniaturized 45-70, but it's rimless. So it's not a rimmed cartridge. It's a rimless cartridge, which really puts it well at being ran in like an AR platform, which is really cool. This particular gun has 11/16 by 24 threading, so you can run your suppressors and stuff. We're going to be running it loud today because the particular suppressor I want to run on this, we don't have out of NFA just yet. So we're going to wait on that to come back and we'll give the gun another look at that time. But it's really cool what Ruger is doing with this particular rifle. You know, it's meant to be an entry-level, kind of lower priced option for people that want a hunting rifle or just a fun little big bore rifle in a nice affordable package that's not overly expensive. It has their marksman trigger, which is suspiciously like an AccuTrigger from Savage. The bedding system is somewhat similar to Savage, but it uses a very rigid and robust bedding system in this particular rifle. It free floats the barrel. It's got a nice lightweight handling characteristic to it, which in my opinion, this is the perfect type of like little Georgia hunting rifle, whether it's hogs or deer or whatever. We've got this particular gun topped off with a Vortex Viper 1-4 PST, nice, you know, lightweight optic, a reasonably inexpensive optic, and it's in a pair of these LaRue quick release rings. The gun does have an integral pick rail on top, which comes standard from the factory. One thing I like about the American series and this particular action compared to like the older M77 and M77 Mark II actions, you have a 70-degree bolt throw, which is killer. This is the same basic action that they use in the Ruger Precision rifle, which is another rifle we're going to be having a look at. What makes the American line pretty special is that they're affordable. I think that's the biggest thing, but you're also getting some pretty dang good quality out of the guns. One thing we noticed, you probably saw in the intro and in this last clip, the bolt on this gun is a little bit stiff when chambering rounds, and I don't know if that could be the spec of the ammo or the fact that this gun is just new and needs to be broken in, but it is what it is. It is a lower cost gun, so I'm assuming that the bolt probably just needs to be broken in and used a bit. This is a very new rifle. Literally all we've done is zeroed the gun for a Hornady 250 grain FTX, and in the 450 Bushmaster out of a 20-inch barrel, which this is a 16, they're running 2,200 feet per second. Now, some of you kind of hot rod hand loaders out there can probably push the 450 Bushmaster a little hotter if you want, and with a suppressor, obviously this would be a really fun option for launching subsonic pills, which is something we're going to do in a future video. The bullet diameter on 450 Bushmaster is just a standard 458 as far as I know, so it's the same projectiles that you can run in a 45-70. It's just a slightly more compact round that really just makes it better for short action, you know, in terms of a semi-automatic. This is obviously a bolt gun. It feeds from a 3-shot magazine. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's got a lot going for it. And one of the reasons that we wanted to look at this particular gun is because we know one of the engineers that helped push Ruger to come up with some big bore offerings, you know, affordable offerings in the American line for some of the guys that want to hunt with a big bore rifle, but may not have all the money to buy a more expensive gun. This is also a great option to have as like a truck gun if you're a hunter. it gets banged around in the truck, beat up a little bit. Who cares? You're only out, you know, $300 or $350. So it's a nice, affordable, entry-level type option. With the 70-degree bolt throw that's reasonably smooth, very good trigger, accessible safety right here on the tang in the rear. I'm a fan of the M77, and the early M77s, ones you saw with the old school red butt plates, had tang safeties on them. And then with the Mark II, they changed it to like a lock style safety on the right side of the bolt, and they did away with the tang safety. So I think it's cool that they're going back to the tang safety. That's kind of a nod to the original M77s, although this action is considerably different. There are a lot of calibers available in the American line, and a lot of you guys have been asking us to do some more budget bolt actions. So we read you loud and clear there. We are going to be taking on some more budget guns just to try to build some more budget-friendly rigs. And I guess what this would really kind of lend itself to is a budget hunting rifle for somebody that wants a big bore setup, something for hogs. I mean, this thing will absolutely obliterate some hogs. You saw in the early shots there, it was just absolutely obliterating those watermelons. So I'm gonna load the gun, and we're gonna shoot it a little more, and we'll see how that bolt does. When the bolt's closing, it's a little bit on the stiff side. Unfortunately, guys, I don't have any other ammunition to run except for the 250. This just happened to be what I could find at the local shop. Actually, I picked this ammo up at Moss. They were the only people I could find locally that had it. Sometimes on these reviews, what we like to kind of do, especially in this case, it's kind of a first look, we like to grab whatever ammo is on the shelf that we can locate readily, because that's a fair representation of what your average Joe is going to do. They're going to buy the gun, they're going to go to whatever shop is local to them, and they're going to find whatever ammo that they can find, and this is all I could find. So that, in these first look videos, that tends to be how we do it. We reviewed the CMMG 6.5 Creedmoor rifle, and we shot the only ammo that we could find locally, and the gun fared quite well. But I like to give a representation of what the average guy is going to go in a shop and do on his own accord. So 3 in the magazine, and you can put 1 in the chamber, so the gun holds 4 shots. All right, I'm gonna don my ear pro because we are running loud and proud here. I'm gonna take a few shots, and then we're gonna get another shooter. Now, yeah, that bolt is a little bit stiff to close, and I don't know if it's the spec on this ammo or what, but take that for what you will. It isn't a entry-level gun, so that's something to consider. Remington, I'm gonna take a shot at 300 and try to hit one of those watermelons.
Okay, sounds good.
It might be kind of stretching it a bit, but I'm gonna go for it.
Go for it.
All right.
To the right.
How
and
far?
A little low.
Let's see. You said a little low?
Yeah, were you going for the middle one?
Yeah.
Yeah. That had the gong.
It sure did, didn't it?
Yeah, off the right side again.
All right, that's not too terrible. Huh. Way off.
That was under the gong.
Not too shabby. All right, I'm going to pick up the pace here. Ruger advertises these guns as being minute capable, and I would say that's an accurate statement. In the initial accuracy testing that I've done with this gun, shooting some initial groups and just getting it sighted in with the PST, one thing I noticed that we were getting between inch and inch-and-a-half groups depending on how hot the barrel gets and everything like that. I would consider the profile of the barrel a little bit on the small side. It is kind of a sporting contour, so I wouldn't imagine it's going to provide a terrible amount of longevity, but that's not really the, I don't mean longevity in terms of how long the gun's going to last, but extended shooting sessions in terms of the gun heating up. It's not really intended for that. It's meant to be a, 3 or 4 shot hunting rifle. So we probably are running it a little more than your average person in the field's going to run it. Not making excuses, I'm just saying it is what it is. Let's test our zero again at 100, and I'm going to see if I can put it right on the cranium at 100. I'm getting about 1.25 inch average group out of the gun, which is pretty much in line.
That smacks it real hard.
Man, it just hammers it. I mean, for like a 100-yard hog or deer gun, this thing is perfect. It's like it nicked it right on the right edge, didn't it?
No, actually it hit the bolt that's holding up the plate.
Oh, okay. Gotcha, gotcha. Not too terrible.
No.
All right. The gun is very, very consistent at 100 yards right there. Shooting pretty good there. I mean, I've shot, I want to say, 2 or 3 3-round groups at 100, and it's holding them into, you know, just under 1.5 inches, which is pretty dang acceptable. So for a 100-yard deer gun, like I said, definitely a good option. And a lot of the Ruger American offerings, one thing I didn't mention, you know, they offer these guns in a ton of different calibers. Now, maybe not in this exact configuration, but our guy over at Ruger that we know that was instrumental in kind of helping develop the idea behind this rifle was one of the ones that convinced them to go with the big bore calibers like 450 Bushmaster, and that's one of the reasons we really want to check this caliber out. You know, we haven't done a whole lot of work with 450 Bushmaster in the past, so we thought it'd be fun to show it off. And also, these things are available in a wide variety of different calibers. I know that a lot of the packages in the Ruger Americans are pretty reasonable in cost, and they're, you know, I'd say sub $400, and you can get them in like 308, .6, you know, long action, short action, which is kind of cool. I'm pretty sure they offer a long action in .6 for some of you guys that like that kind of caliber. And then obviously the short action calibers, you can get quite a few. I think there's a 243, a 308, a few other odds and ends. I think they even offer something like this in a 6.5 Creedmoor, which is pretty dang cool for somebody that wants to get into a lesser expensive 6.5. You know, they offer the Ruger Precision Rifle in a 308 and a 6.5 Creedmoor, which is cool. And then also in the rimfire variety, you can get these little Ruger Americans in a variety of rimfire calibers, primarily, you know, 22 long rifle. And then they feed from Ruger 1022 magazines, which is a really cool way to get into a bolt gun, you know, chambered in that caliber and taking the common Ruger 1022 magazines for not a ton of money. That might be something we'll have a look at in the future. All right, I got a few rounds left. We're gonna see if we can smack that, that coyote, and then we're gonna get another shooter on this thing and get a little bit more perspective. I love the light handling characteristics of the gun. It's about a 5.5 pound gun without optics. It really isn't terribly heavy at all. I could just picture this thing going in and out of a deer stand, no problem, or walking around like kind of a ranch rifle capability is where this thing really excels. You could even, you know, skimp on the optic a lot if you wanted to run a really, really lightweight red dot or something. If you were gonna be doing all your shooting 50 yards or under, or maybe even 100 yards or under, a small red dot could lighten this package up even more. And believe me, when you're walking around with a hunting rifle a lot, you want something lightweight, you know, something easy to carry around. And for the money, definitely a nice option there. All right, you ready? Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of stickiness in the bolt, and there I just had a feeding issue, and I don't know if that was the way that I was pushing on the bolt. One thing I noticed about this is the magazine length is pretty dang large. I mean, that 450 Bushmaster has to make a pretty considerable jump before it begins to feed into the action. And I don't know if maybe I'm just holding my mouth wrong. Let's try again. Maybe I was trying to push too hard or putting a little bit weird pressure in one area. All right, coyote. All right, I'm gonna try. Right in the backbone.
Yep, right on the shoulder.
Got him. That would have been a dead yoke.
For sure.
Right over his back?
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna try a shot at the watermelon. Again, in the center.
Boom.
Yeah, I'll take that for a last shot. Split that watermelon right in half. Yeah, it's always fun to see how these particular types of bullets do at extended ranges. That's why we put some watermelons down there. I'm gonna get another shooter on the gun. It's not Chad, I do have a special guest, and I'll introduce him real quick. We're gonna get his thoughts on the gun and let him shoot a little bit. It's always fun to take some of these rounds out to some longer range. I mean, most of you probably won't shoot 450 Bushmaster in a hunting situation at those kind of ranges, but I will say, relatively flat Probably only about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes have come up, and that I can hold that in the optic, so really not that much drop at all, and it's 0 dead on at 100. So that's one of the benefits of 450 Bushmaster. It's a very flat shooting cartridge, especially with the little 250. You're bunking the wind a little bit, but you're getting a little bit of edge on velocity by running the lighter bullet. So a 250 grain bullet moving 2,200 feet per second is definitely no slouch, especially for hunting purposes. That's pretty dang cool. Let's get Remington settled in behind the rifle here, and we're gonna let him shoot some for you. All right, guys, my special guest today is Remington Little. He's the 2016 Youth Shooting Sports Ambassador for the NRA.
Yep.
Cool guy. And he's currently going to college for mechanical engineering. He's a good dude. He's been hanging out with us here a few days. We're going to get your take on the Ruger American here.
Sounds good.
Sound
Let's
like fun?
do it.
All right, I'm going to spot for you.
Alrighty.
Very informal. That watermelon was pretty fun. So you just,
Oh yeah.
whenever you feel like you're inclined, you just shoot whatever you want and
All right.
tell me what you're going to shoot and I'll spot.
Well, I like shooting long range stuff, so let's try that gong on the right. See what I could do.
Okay, which one? At 3?
At 300, yep, on the right.
You got it, whenever you're ready. You know your holds.
Yep.
And guys, I was a little off on the holds. It's about 6 minutes have come up to get out to 3. I was wrong on that. Good shot. Very well centered. If you use that same hold, you ought to be able to tag a watermelon, no problem.
All right, we'll give that a try. Ooh, you weren't kidding about the bolt being stiff.
Yep, it's pretty stiff.
There we go. And you know, for it hitting like a freight train down there, the recoil on the back end isn't all that bad.
Yeah, you feel free to input anything you want to say. So, if
all right.
Good or bad, don't hold anything back.
Let's try to reach out and touch one of those watermelons.
I'm looking forward to that. Oh yeah!
Oh, that's cool.
That is glorious.
Wow.
That looks so good. I think you have to do it again to the other one on the left there.
Will do.
Wow.
And the break you have on this, the end of it's really nice too, because I'm able to see those hits down there.
Yeah, we're really going to have a look at that bolt, because that thing is just stupid stiff. It shouldn't be that stiff.
I wonder if it's getting worse as it heats up.
I don't know. You going to be able to close it?
Hopefully.
Is it really that stiff?
Yeah. Oof.
Let me see.
Take a look at that.
Man.
Wow.
Yeah, that is stiff. All right,
Let's
try that again. I mean, the gun's shooting well. It's not showing any kind of forms of pressure.
Right.
But we're only running this one type of ammo. So in terms of if it's an ammo anomaly or not, we really don't have a way to know, because this is the only ammo we have. But guys, don't worry. We are going to revisit this video in the future with a suppressor, and we'll give you the full skinny.
Absolutely.
Whenever you're ready.
All right, settle back in here.
Oh, you clipped the top of
it. Gave it a haircut.
You did. I think that watermelon's got one more hit in it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Load up another mag for him.
There you go. Now, you were at our YouTuber shoot this last year.
I was. That was a ton of fun.
And you got to shoot this gun, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. And I tell you what, shooting it standing, it really surprised you. Like, it rocks you back, but the recoil still is not that bad. There we go.
Little stiff.
A little bit. Kind of varies shot to shot too.
Yeah, we're gonna have to, I think what I'm gonna end up doing is checking the crimp on those, the factory crimp, to make sure that those rounds are crimped properly.
Yeah, maybe that's it, because that's really the only thing that's changing.
Yep. Whenever you're ready.
All right.
Right over the top.
Oh.
Yeah, it shouldn't be stiff like that. I mean, you're having to put a lot of weight on that to get that bolt to close. I like the concept of this gun, but I have to say the 450 is the only one that I've seen that happen with.
All right over the top, you say.
Whenever you're ready. Oh yeah.
Nice. There we go.
You drilled it that time.
Yeah. That time I was holding about halfway in between the second and third notch.
Nice. So in between the second and third, that'd be 5 minutes of come up.
Yep.
Still pretty flat considering. I mean, I would say the performance is somewhat 450, or I'd say 458, but 458 SOCOM. Listen, man, I'm getting all my calibers mixed up. I'd say the performance is similar.
See, dare I go for the gopher at 3?
I think that it would be an awesome thing to do.
All right, let's give it a shot.
The one down in the watermelon patch or the one over to the left?
On the left.
Whenever you're ready.
All right.
You can hit it. Oh man, you barely missed off the backside of his little back there. You missed about an inch to the left.
Inch to the left, okay.
That little turd, and you shot a hole right through the leg of the target stand, like perfectly in the center.
Really? Wow.
You know, the more I work with this rifle, the more I want to kill something with it.
That'll be fun to tag a pig with it.
Yeah, I think that's really what this gun is going to excel at, is a pig gun.
Good for brush hunting too. Power through anything.
Yep. Yeah, we're definitely going to try some different ammo out of this thing. I honestly think that that's going to be the culprit here. Nothing against Hornady. I'm not saying their ammo's bad. Oh, you barely missed him. Like it went right by his neck to the right that time. So
to the right.
Yeah, I think you're shooting about a 3-inch group.
Probably.
So that's not too bad.
Small little gopher down there.
Yep. That's a tough target.
Let's see.
You really need a small bore, you know, for that. So
yeah,
you're lobbing bowling balls 300 yards. It's definitely not an easy shot you're taking.
Nope.
You got him.
Good
shot.
Wow.
Good center mass hit.
That smacks him hard.
You got that right.
Cool. All right, just for fun, hit the guy at 100.
Okay. You just want to see that smackdown power, huh?
Yeah, I do.
Wow.
Woo! That's satisfying.
It's got some power.
It does. And you know what's really nice? While I was spotting for Eric, you could see the bullet just drop as it's going down range. So if you ever wanted to watch a bullet do that through a spotting scope, this is the caliber for that.
Now earlier, you off camera, we were talking about like shooters developing a flinch.
Right.
Why don't you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so one thing that I've noticed from growing up hunting in New Jersey, we aren't allowed to hunt with rifles. So most people hunt with slug guns for the shotguns. I picked up a 12 gauge slug gun, and when I was like 10, 12 years old, that thing would hit me real hard. I definitely picked up a flinch. If you ever want to practice not getting a flinch, this is like one of the calibers to do it. And just because you really have to think to yourself, all right, slow, steady squeeze of the trigger. If it picks up a round.
Yeah, we have a malfunction again?
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, that's weird because that cartridge is really making a very deliberate jump in that magazine.
It is. That's a lot of movement.
It is.
And the spring is loose in the magazine, which is nice for loading, but I wonder if that's also playing into effect of these double feeds we have.
Yeah. Try it again.
Close that first. Well, I have to say though, if you put a round in the chamber and close the magazine or close the bolt is perfectly smooth.
Huh.
All right.
I wonder if that extractor plunger is really stiff.
Maybe. Let's see. I'll go for the plate at 250. The big one.
Send it. Good center mass shot.
All right.
You're right on it.
Cool.
Good shot. Those shots are about 2 inches apart.
Nice.
So for 250, that's excellent.
Oh yeah.
Why don't you shoot one more and triangulate it there?
All right.
Good shooting.
Nice.
Good shooting. That's
Okay.
about a 2-inch group.
Can't ask for anything more
No, you
from a
can't.
gun at this price point.
That's right.
Take a few more shots.
I'll tell you what, humor me real quick while we're filming here.
All right.
Let's grab the bolt out of here. And while you're loading that mag, let me see one of those rounds there. I was just looking to see if maybe that extractor is a little stiff or not, and that could be what's causing your bolt to be difficult to close.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, this time instead of picking one up off the magazine, humor me.
Yeah.
Drop one in the chamber directly and just see if it acts any different in terms of the.
Well, that's what I was saying before. It if you put one in the chamber, it runs
put the
really
safety
smooth.
on. All right. Let's see if I can get. Just humor me here.
Yep.
All right. There's a round in the chamber.
Okay.
Now let's watch this and just close the bolt and see what it does.
All right.
Because if it's picking up and that bolt is stiff, it could just be that that extractor being a little bit stiff.
Yeah.
Try that. Yeah, see, so it's still trying to overcome. Yeah. That has to be what it is.
Yeah.
But we'll get on that later. Let's keep shooting.
Yep. All right.
Whatever you want to shoot.
I want to shoot that coyote.
All right, well then shoot the coyote. Right in the neck.
Whew.
That wind is picking up, so you're probably getting a little bit of drift.
Yeah, probably with.
You know, that cartridge is actually bunking the wind pretty well.
It is for any range where you're going to be shooting a whitetail at out here.
Yep.
No issues at all.
No, not at all. This is really beyond Georgia shooting anyway. I mean, most places in Georgia, you're going to shoot about 100 yards.
Yeah.
It's perfect for that. Yeah, the wind caught you. It went right by his face.
All right.
I mean, I literally saw that bullet just drift over about probably a good solid, give it about a 2-minute hold because you got the wind going from left to right.
Okay. Yeah, it really picked up.
Yeah, it did. Give it a 2-minute wind hold to the left.
Okay.
With your same elevation hold. There you go.
Yep.
Split
Excellent.
the difference. Yeah, that wind is really picking up.
Woo. Makes it interesting.
Keep the same wind hold. Send it. Good. Right where your first shot hit, right in the neck.
Nice.
That would have been a coyote down. Good shooting.
That's it. I like it.
All right. Remington, thanks for coming out today. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, Eric. It was a great time. Thank you
All
for
right,
having me.
absolutely. Guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time. We're going to be having another look at this particular rifle. Stay tuned.